No one? Okay. So today we're going to learn about the brief history of Chinese science fiction. So I'm going to start with the outline for today. Can anyone turn off the light for me? Okay, thank you. So we're going to first have a pop quiz on assigned reading, but this one is not graded. It's like a test run for what you are going to have next week. Okay, so next one is I'm going to introduce you to the current field of Chinese science fiction genre, including films and also fiction. And then I will go back in time and tell you about some of the hard facts of Chinese science fiction. For example, the prehistory, early history, etc. Okay? So first, let's do the true or false session for Han Song's essay, the assigned reading for today. Have you done the reading yet? Very good. Now please grab a piece of paper. Okay. Please turn on the light again, I'm sorry. So, okay, it's like a self-check, right? Self-check. Has 10 questions in total, and here is the first half. We will go over the answers one by one together. Raise your hand if you have finished the first half. Okay, give me one more minute. Done? Okay, now second half. Done? One more minute. Okay, now let's stop here. Let's go back. I have the attendance sheet with me. So the first one, how about Olivia? Could you read it and also tell us whether it's true or false?
Liu Pen is a Chinese-American science fiction writer who won the Nebula Award in 2011 and the Hugo Award in 2012 for the best short story.
Mm-hmm. Is that true or false?
Is it true?
Is it true? Right? correct?
True.
Very good, it's true, okay? How about next one, second one, how about Adam?
China's most popular and prominent science fiction writer is Hans.
Mm-hmm. True or
False.
false? False. So the correct one should be
Liu.
Liu Cixin. Very good, very good. Okay, so this one is false. Okay, number 3, Austin.
There are only 2 magazines, the Chengdu-based Science Fiction World and Taiyuan-based New Science Fiction dedicated to publishing Chinese science fiction.
True or false?
I said true.
True. What do you think?
True.
True. Correct, very good. Number 4, how about Lindsay? Lindsay. Oh, this one?
Chinese science fiction made its debut over 100 years ago. I said true.
Mm-hmm. Correct? True, very good, it's correct. Okay, number 5, Mu Congzhang.
After 1949, Socialist China's first science fiction short story is Liang Qichao's 新中国未来记, The Future of New China. I said true.
True or false?
True. True.
False.
So you think it's false, why?
I think in the book is the first time Liang Qichao expressed that China should use science fiction to spread the new science and new technology and development from the Western world.
So which part of this sentence is wrong?
I think the first science fiction short story is by Zheng Wenguang.
Very good. So first is the time of 1949, Socialist China's first science fiction short story is actually written by Zheng Wenguang, not Liang Qichao. And the story he wrote is called 从地球到火星, From Earth to Mars. So Liang Qichao may be the first Chinese science fiction writer who published original Chinese science fiction. But he published it during the late Qing period, which is early 20th century, 1904. So the time is not accurate. Okay, now next one. Number 6, how about for Matthew Fernandez?
During the Cultural Revolution, 1966 to 76, science fiction writer for silence because the genre was regarded as something from corrupt Western culture that could lead people astray, and I said true.
True. What do you think?
True.
True. Very good. Correct. Number 7, Ren Han, right? I still remember your Chinese name.
Chinese science fiction writers did not resume their work until the 1990s. False.
False. So the correct answer for this one should be 100 Chinese science fiction writers resumed work. There was a short period of time they were actually silenced, right? It's during the Cultural Revolution from 1966 to 1976. So shortly after the end of Cultural Revolution, they resumed writing. So they actually resumed their writing in late 1970s, not until the 1990s, okay? Number 8, how about you? Yeah, sure.
I know China has imported a large number of science fiction blockbusters from the United States since the 1990s, including E.T., Jurassic Park, Star Wars, Terminator, Matrix, Transformers, Avatar, and the recent Battleship. The mark is false.
You think it's false?
Yes.
Why is false? Which part is false?
I don't believe that China has imported any of those films.
Okay,
from America.
what do others think?
True.
It's true. So actually, Chinese moviegoers, they love science fiction blockbusters from the Hollywood. So they have actually imported all of them into China. Okay, so next one. Number 9, how about Noah?
As of today, science fiction writing is still not supported by the Chinese government. I said false.
So actually, Chinese government fully support science fiction writing. Can you guess why? Yeah.
Because it's like, it promotes a great future for China.
Oh, you are thinking that science fiction writers they like to depict like a bright future for China.
So I know there's also like parts where like they don't want you to write about the history of China.
Yes.
They write about the history and they do like they go back in time and stuff.
But you know, writers, they like to project their vision of the present time into the future, right?
Mm.
So they can still criticize what's happening right now by depicting a future world.
Yeah.
So this is not exactly the right reason for Chinese government to support the writing of Chinese science fiction. Actually, anyone else have any other thoughts on this? Why? Yeah.
It's supposed to be like it helps creativity and like interest in science.
Very good. That's the exact reason for the government to promote the writing of Chinese science fiction. Because the government believes that it actually helps the reading public to know more about scientific knowledge and also to kind of inspire their imagination, things like that. Okay, number 10. How about, let me see. Okay. Eleanor. Oh, okay.
Compared to their predecessors, modern science fiction writers are more optimistic about China in the world's future.
Mm-hmm.
I said false,
Why is false?
because I remember reading, I think Hong Song specifically, it's like they don't always have good endings or good futures.
Very good. Actually, it's true that compared to their predecessors, modern science fiction writers, they have fewer pressure from the government. So they can write more about more things. But not all of them actually have this utopian vision of the future. Some of them actually kind of visions, their vision of the future is entirely dystopia. And you will write about this in Han Song and also Liu Cixin's three-body problems, okay? So how many of them have you got it correct? This is like the test run for the quiz next week. We'll have one soon, okay? So next one. So I'm gonna start with introducing you to the current field of Chinese science fiction, starting with the films. As I have mentioned before, Chinese audience, they love to go to a movie theater and watch a science fiction blockbuster there. Here is actually a list of the highest grossing science fiction blockbusters in China. As you can see, the first one on the list is The Wandering Earth. We will talk about this movie in a short period of time. And the second one is another Chinese film which grossed about 2.2 billion. It's called Crazy Alien. Crazy Alien. It came out this year actually. And the next one, from the third one until the last one, they are all science fiction blockbusters imported from the United States. You can see some familiar names like Transformers, right? And also Jurassic Park, Avatar, right? So these actually are highest grossing science fiction blockbusters in China. So Chinese audience love them. But they still love the Chinese science fiction films the best, right? These two are actually the highest grossing science fiction blockbusters. And here I want to tell you actually the two success stories of two science fiction films. The first one is CG7. In Chinese, the title is 长江七号, 长江七号. And the second movie I'm going to introduce you is The Wandering Earth. Let's start with CG7. So CG7 is actually a 2008 Hong Kong Chinese comic science fiction film starring and directed by Stephen Chow. Does any one of you have watched a movie either directed or played by Stephen Chow? Have you heard of this name? No one? Oh, because some of my students from the language class, they told me that he loved Stephen Chow's Kung Fu Hustle. He is the director of Kung Fu Hustle and the Shaolin Soccer. Okay, so CG7 is also one of his movies. Okay, so this CG7, it was released in 2008 in Hong Kong, and then in mainland China, the United States, and other countries. So here is a few words about the plot of the film. So it's a story about a poor liberal father and his young son's lives are turned upside down when a fascinating and strange new pet enters their world. And they name this pet CG7, CG7. So the box office result for this science fiction movie is 47.3 million US dollars, which doesn't seem too high in today's eyes, but remember it's back in 2008. It actually ranked the third highest grossing film in China in 2008. And here is actually a trailer. Do anyone can turn off the light? A trailer of CG7. Okay, I don't know how to do it. Let's see.
Ti Chao is a good word.